Hello and welcome to the Crusader Kings 3 Mods of the Year. Yes, I'm just as excited as all of you guys, but I do need to mention a few things before we do get started. No total conversion mods will be included in this video, as they would probably take up half of this list, so they will be included separately. I'm sorry to disappoint a select few of you who possibly go onto a website that might be called Lovers Lab. I wouldn't know. To download very, let's just say interesting mods will also not be included. And remember, there has been such an incredible amount of quality mods released this year. So I've tried to be as unbiased as possible, but everyone will have different opinions. And there's so many mods that could probably easily replace any of these. And this order could change. I spent a good 40 minutes reordering this list. With all that out of the way, let's get straight into it. Starting out today at number 16, we have Farewell Chaplain. It's honestly essential for me, as one of the most annoying parts of Crusader Kings 3 is just being stuck with whatever bishop that gets decided for you in certain faiths. This allows you to request a replacement, giving you the option between two people with various levels of learning. And the better they're learning, the more they will cost you. And you may even decide the two you get you don't want, so you can just refuse those too. And this just at least gives you a chance of finding someone hopefully competent at learning. Of course, you also can just murder your bishop, but this saves you the headache of that. So next up today we have Resizable Events. This allows you to fine-tune event pop-ups to your liking with many different options. My favourite though being the big option. This displays all the effects of an event without having to hover over each one. It just saves you a lot of time and it's really convenient. Or you know, if you're like me and you maybe forget your glasses, you can have full screen events, so perfect for that also. Now it does come with two other mods, the first one being Nameplate, which displays a character's name during events. Again, a great mod on its own, and it now includes Dual Overlay. And it honestly just makes the dual screen look way nicer, and it displays way more relevant information like a character's prowess, likelihood of injury, chances of success, and so on. And all of these mods are great on their own, but the fact you can get it all with one simple download is perfect. Full screen barbershop, personally this is a top 3 as it makes the perfect thumbnails, and a recent update has made it even better, allowing you to add traits to your characters, preview poses, changing a character's weight and muscles to get the perfect photos to remind you of your most loved or most hated characters. Only reason it's so low is I'm not sure how impactful it is for typical gameplay for most people, but if you use it a lot in normal gameplay, be sure to let me know. But either way, this mod has made my life 100 times easier, and it's simply perfect at what it does. So next up we have Tavern Games. This is technically 4 different mods, but I've included them all here. There's jousting, fishing, a drinking game, and finally an archery tournament. And all of these honestly blew my mind and got me really excited for the future of Crusader Kings 3. It just goes to show the possibilities that 3D portraits bring to the game. Even on his YouTube channel, he's showing off some more interesting things like battles with characters actually fighting. And nobody else, as far as I'm aware, is doing this kind of thing, so big props to Castox for these mods. You know, it's just always fun to relax, doing a crusade and challenge the Pope to a jousting tournament. What more could you want? HOC, Cultural and Regional Men-at-Arms and Innovations Edition mod, is one hell of a mouthful, but equally one hell of a mod. I really do feel the amount of unique men-at-arms is massively lacking, which is just pretty disappointing. This though honestly fixes that, no joke. Adding around 70 new men-at-arms, it's added so much I'm not even bothered if Paradox decides to add more. This just does such a good job, and you can tell with the amount of effort and love that's been put into it. There's just a lot here that makes each area feel different from one another, and that's the main reason it's one of my favourite mods of the year. Very immersive events and tales currently adds over 580 new events that can pop up, meaning finally you can get something new to pop up instead of the same things repeatedly. And what's so amazing is that each one fits the theme of Crusader Kings, and none of them really feel out of place or rushed into the mod just to seem like the number of events is big. I'm sure many of you have tried this mod and probably still run it today. It's really just essential to bring some life back into Crusader Kings 3. Submission to Authority. The mostly mechanical mod series is honestly some of the best. Stick clearly has a great vision of what people want in the game, and they're all executed perfectly. There's more of these later in the video, but this one adds a more dynamic system between rulers and their vassals, and this directly controls the level of authority the realm has, so no more just clicking on a level and spending the prestige to get it. This is all based around the submission value, which is based on how much the contract favours the liege for feudal governments. Clan rulers is based on how much they like their liege, and old tribal rulers like famous lieges. This just overhauls the authority mechanic and adds even more for the player to manage with their vassals without it being tedious or boring. Government Plus is a mod from the Fallen Eagle that's available to be played, giving you access to new laws, contracts, decisions, like forming legions or even the Praetorian Guard to fight for you, as well as 6 new government types, down to city-states with a max domain limit of 1, to full-on centralization policies for bureaucratic governments. I mean, if you haven't tried this, even in the full Fallen Eagle mod, please do yourself a favor and play the full Total Conversion mod. It's honestly incredible. Regional immersion and cultural enrichment adds so much to the game. It updates every few weeks as well, with another massive flavor expansion to a new area. Currently they have 11 areas that have been expanded, such as Brittany, Siwa and the Red Sea, and well, so many more. Each one is packed full of new events, decisions, religious tenets, interactions, buildings and the lot. There's just a stupid amount of content here for a completely free mod. It really stands out from the crowd due to the frequency of new things being added. But don't be deceived by the amount of content. It's all some of the highest quality I've seen, and if you haven't tried it yet, make sure you do. House Traditions came out of nowhere and was instantly a hit the moment it dropped. It's just so unique, but once it released, it was just such an obvious thing to add that it seems nobody else really thought about adding. Depending on the traits your current character has, you can select one of the 21 new traditions for your dynasty. These will just slightly push your future family members to follow a similar path, while each giving you new and unique bonuses. And those who end up with opposite traits will basically be like the black sheep of the family, and disliked by the more honourable members. Also, children at the age of 6 get to select a role model out of the house members and will adopt a personality trait from them. And at 15 they can decide if they want to play into the tradition or steer off their own way. Just such a brilliant idea and a must-try mod for sure. Now next up we have Dynamic Crusader States, and as a standalone mod it's honestly amazing. It's a module from the Kingdom of Heaven that has been made separate with the goal of being compatible with other mods too. And I really do love the fact that modders are making things for their more major mods available as separate submods. But this, as you may already know, brings back Crusader States from Crusader Kings 2. All you have to do is take a full duchy from the war target's land, and you get a few options of what you want to do with this land, from giving the land to your beneficiary, taking the land for yourself, or just go absolutely insane, leave all your other titles behind and just simply go. Move there and start a new life. It's just a great mod that gives you an actual reason to participate in Crusades, because a lot of the time you know you're going to lose, so you just don't bother. Anyway, moving on, we have Sinews of War. Sinews of War takes city building to a whole new level, adding just so many things, like populations, plagues, natural disasters, and a completely rebuilt building system that can each be upgraded, giving you different bonuses like disease resistance to faster innovations. Honestly though, my favourite part of this mod is the new culture and faith spread, as now you don't actually need to control counties to convert them. As long as your culture and faith attack is higher than your neighbour's defence, your population will migrate slowly but surely, converting the counties around them. It's just way more in depth than the vanilla system of just spending gold to get bonuses, which does get pretty boring and repetitive. Like, there's a really good reason everybody couldn't stop talking about this mod when it released. So at number 4 we have Succession Expanded. This adds 6 new succession types, as well as the ability to form co-kingships. Each one is different from the others and unique to certain cultures or kingdoms. There just really aren't a whole lot of these in the base game, so I really do think it's a great idea for a mod. It's really well made and I've had zero issues while using it. I'm not going to go too deep into the mod, as I recently did just do a full video about this, so go check that out for more in-depth details about each new law if you want. Before we do get into number 3, I do want to say some honourable mentions that could easily have been placed on this list and probably are for a lot of you, such as In My Humble Opinion, Muse of Ambition, Battlefield Duel, Better Battles, Vassals to Arms, Trick or Trait, Family Matters, and a bunch more. I'm sure you do get the idea. And this honestly just goes to show how lucky we are as a community to have such great and dedicated modders. Anyway, at number 3, we have Res Publica. This adds the ability to form 4 new government types, each one coming with unique features and mechanics that make them all fun to play. This allows you to vote for law changes, build your family's respect while paying for smear campaigns and opposition dynasties to increase your voting power, all the way until you get so powerful you have full control over the government. And there's just so many little things as well that take this mod to the next level, like the ability to form a dictatorship in the Senate government, and once the war ends you can actually refuse to give up the dictatorship, resulting in a massive fight with your vassals deciding the future of the realm. Res Publica just adds so much more for you to manage while still keeping it incredibly fun. It's just so well made, and that's why I fully believe it deserves to be in the top 3. Now second today may actually surprise some people, because it may not add loads and loads of new content, but what it does perfectly, and it improves the most lacking aspect of Crusader Kings 3 for me anyway, the battles. So second today we have Prisoners of War. It just brings so much more strategy and realism to every single battle you take part in, as typically in CK3 once somebody is captured, they teleport to the other side of the world in the blink of an eye. With this mod, people captured during sieges will be attached to the army until that army reaches friendly territory. So this just gives you the ability to save your family from imprisonment by chasing and beating the army. Like, it's just such a great idea for a mod, and it's simply just one of those mods you think should have been in the base game to begin with. Now, I'm sure you've all guessed what's left to be mentioned, and is clearly taking the number 1 spot. Technically, it is a tie between 2 mods, but I just couldn't find it in my heart to choose one over the other. So, tied first place for the best Crusader Kings 3 mod of the year is Community Flavor Pack and Ethnicities and Portraits Expanded. Now you all know exactly what both of these do, and they may not really add much in terms of gameplay, but it doesn't matter. Crusader Kings is all about role playing, and the addition of 3D portraits allows mods like this to really shine above the others. These both just make all the characters around the map look unique, with many more items of clothing added, and for me this is why they are both deserving of the number 1 spot. Anyway, like I did say, this list, I'm gonna be honest with you, is completely interchangeable. Like, any of these could be number 1, any of these could be number 2, you get the idea. And there's so many mods that could have been included, because originally I did have a massive list of mods, and I was just slowly going through removing them one by one, just comparing it to the other mods, saying which is more deserving. And I gotta end the video by saying a massive thank you to all the modders in the community. Like, DLC has been incredibly slow, and they've just kept adding so much new content to the game. So yeah, thank you to absolutely all of them, and a massive thank you to all the channel members. We have Bayek Von Quark, Arcane, Damien, Intermia1, Irrelevant, Luke Jarrett, Zigadelic, and Random Icelander. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.